맥시멈 15분 정도를 쓰고, 그래서 네 분이면 이제 60분 정도 되고, 그 다음에 여기 플라워에 계신 분들로부터 질문 받는 시간을 한 10분에서 15분 정도 쓰려고 하고 있습니다. 그래서 오늘 제가 각 발표자께는 15분의 시간을 꼭 좀 지켜주시기를 말씀드리고, 제가 10분 정도 됐을 때 벨을 한번 이런 식으로 눌러서 10분이 지났다는 것을 상기시켜주도록 그렇게 하겠습니다. 어떤 책에 이런 이야기가 있더군요. 자연은 한 번도 예술을 동경한 적이 없다. 그러니까 이게 무슨 말이냐면 자연이 무엇보다도 예술적이라는 이야기죠. 자연은 한 번도 예술을 동경한 적이 없다. 이게 얼마나 자연이 중요한가, 자연의 보존이 얼마나 창조성에 큰 도움이 되는가 하는 이야기가 되겠습니다. 또 한 가지 말씀을 드리면, 저희가 아마 여러분 한국 분들은 뭐 설악산을 많이 가보실 거고, 저는 이제 출장을 가다가 미국에 있는 로키 마운틴을 가끔 가는데 10년이 지나서 가도 20년이 지나서 가도 항상 제가 갔던 그 공원에 있는 이 자연환경이나 물이 하나도 변화 없이 똑같은 퀄리티와 똑같은 분위기를 창출하는 걸 보고, 아마 인간이 다음 세대에 물려줄 수 있는 가장 중요한 자산이 자연이구나 하는 것을 느낀 적이 많습니다. 그래서 오늘 국제협력을 통한 환경친화적 개발의 방향과 사례라는 주제가 저희 시대에 굉장히 중요한 그런 수명적 주제라고 생각을 합니다. 오늘 주제 발표는 우리 이제 김명자 한국여성과학 기술단체 총연합회 회장님께서 먼저 해주시고, 이어서 이제 세 분의 토론 겸 사례 발표를 세 분이 하는 그런 순서를 갖고 있습니다. 먼저 오늘 발표를 하실 김명자 회장님을 먼저 잠깐 소개를 해드리면, 여러분이 뭐 잘 아시다시피 우리 김명자 회장님은 사실 다른 분들이 하기 어려운 세 가지 일을 다 하셨습니다. 화학학자, 또 과학기술사 학자로서의 교수 생활도 오래 하셨고요. 또 17대 국회의원도 지내셨고, 그리고 그 전에 우리 정부의 환경부 장관으로서 최장수 장관으로 보내셨던 것 같습니다. 보통 장관분들이 1년 하기 힘드신데 4년을 아마 하신 걸로 그렇게 알고 있습니다. 그래서 소위 말해서 이 트리플 크라운을 다 수행하신 그런 분이십니다. 오늘 우리 김명자 회장님을 모시고 국제협력의 필요성과 당위성에 대해서 일단 15분, 주제 발표이기 때문에 15분 정도 듣고 그 다음 토론자로 넘어가도록 그렇게 하겠습니다. Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang, for your kind introduction. Now, I would like to go in. 지금 환경부에서 일하면서 더블 에코 프로젝트라는 것을 했었습니다. 이코노미와 이코노지의 조합, 시너지 이펙트를 어떻게 만들 수 있겠는가. 근데 대한민국 정부가 2008년부터 그린 그로스 이니셔티브를 표방을 하고 적극적인 정책을 펴고 있습니다. 그러나 한국은 환경적 스트레스가 가장 큰 나라에 속하기 때문에 어떻게 보면 그린 그로스를 실현하는 것이 가장 어려운 나라이기도 합니다. 그렇기 때문에 더욱 적극적인 정책이 필요합니다. 저는 제주 포럼에 참여하면서 그런 생각을 어제부터 계속 하고 있습니다. 그린과 그로스, 서로 상충되는 개념으로 우리는 인식하고 있습니다. 이 두 가지 상충되는 개념이 조화를 이루면서 상생을 해서 결국 발전을 이룩할 수 있는 성공 모델이 나와야 하는데 바로 그 모델이 제주에서 실현되어야 한다라는 생각을 합니다. 그런 뜻에서 제주 피스 포럼은 참으로 의미 있는 자리라고 생각을 합니다. 오늘 우리 주제가 국제협력을 통해서 어떻게 환경친화적 개발을 할 수 있을 것인가, 특히 경제 선진국과 개발도상국 사이의 협력에 의해서 어떻게 전 지구 공동체가 Sustainable Development, Green Growth를 향해서 나아갈 수 있겠는가. 협력이 무엇보다 중요한 과제입니다. 그러나 기후변화 체제에서 우리가 십수년간 경험해 오고 있듯이 Common but Differentiated 라는 용어에서 공통된 그러나 차별화된 그러한 책임을 져야 한다는 데서 개발도상국과 선진경제권 사이에 서로 의견 차이를 좁히지 못하면서 이렇다 할 구체적인 행동이 이루어지기에는 아직도 미흡한 상황입니다. 저는 이 그린 그로스를 실현하는 데 있어서 가장 중요한 것은 자원 효율성을 어떻게 높이는가 하는 것이 과제라고 봅니다. 그 자원 효율성을 높이는 데 있어서 에너지 자원이 특히 앞으로 매우 더 심각하게 중요해질 것이다. 이렇게 보는 관점에서 오늘 저는 에너지 협력에 대해서 조금 구체적인 말씀을 드리고자 합니다. 특히 우리는 아시아에 살고 있습니다. 70억 인구의 60%가 살고 있는, 그러면서 빈부격차가 가장 크고 그리고 가장 빠른 속도로 경제 성장을 함으로써 자원 소비가 가장 큰 대륙, 우리들의 고향 아시아의 문제를 어떻게 협력에 의해서 풀어갈 수 있을 것인가, 이것이 중요하다고 봅니다. 그래서 Green Growth Policies and Measures, 그 다음에 Regional Energy Cooperation에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 우리는 아주 심각한 도전에 직면하고 있습니다. 우리 이번 주제가 글로벌 트렌드가 앞에 나오고 있고, 그리고 아시아의 문제죠. 네, 몇몇 중요한 지적들이 나오고 있는데 몇 가지 인용을 했습니다. 제가 시간이 없기 때문에 준비된 자료를 중심으로 해서 넘어가겠습니다. 아시아의 상황에 대해서 간단히 말씀을 드렸고, 그리고 모든 주요 기관이 앞으로 이 인바운드 챌린지가 특히 아시아에서 매우 심각하다는 연구 결과를 발표하고 있습니다. 인구 증가, 물론 선진국에서는 고령사회로 가면서 인구 증가 추세가 매우 둔화되고 있습니다만 개발도상국은 여전히 인구가 증가하고 있고, 거기에 따라서 삶의 질의 향상에 대한 요구가 높아지고 있어서 자원의 이용, 이것이 점점 더 많아지고 있는데 대체 자원이 만들어질 수 없는 경우가 많다는 것이죠. 이것이 우리들이 풀어야 할 과제이고, 그리고 가장 심각한 도전 중에 하나가 climate change. 이것으로 인해서 얼마나 많은 영향을 인류 사회가 받고 있는가 하는 것에 대해서는 사실 일반 대중이 인식을 전혀 하고 있지 못하다라고 해도 과언이 아닙니다. 한국은 말씀드린 대로 environmental stress는 매우 큰 나라이지만 capacity to adapt, adaptability에 있어서는 상당히 높은 것으로 평가를 받고 있다는 말씀을 드렸습니다. 그리고 모든 부문이 다 기후변화 때문에 심각한 타격을 입고 있다 하는 것인데, 이것이 제가 좋아하는 도표입니다. 인간 활동이 클라이밋 체인지를 어떻게 유발시키며 그린하우스 이펙트로 해서 글로벌 워밍이 일어나고 있는 그 이면 글로벌 워밍으로 끝나는 것이 아니라 저기 그림의 오른쪽 아래에 보시는 것처럼 여러 가지 위험 사회에 우리는 살게 되었다 하는 것으로서 내추럴 디자스터 이것이 얼마나 빈도를 그리고 피해 규모를 높이고 있는가 하는 것을 우리가 언론 보도를 통해서도 잘 알고 있습니다. 그래서 급격한 기온 변화, 기상 이변 그리고 단순히 글로벌 워밍이 아니라 쿨링과 클라이밋 체인지 뿐만 아니라 어느 지역에서는 냉해가 닥치고 같은 지역에서도 냉해와 그 다음에 기온 상승 이것이 아주 예측을 불허하는 수준으로 빈발하고 있다 하는 것이 문제의 근원이고 그것에 따라서 리소스 특히 에너지, 푸드, 워터 이 세 가지가 바로 strategic resources라고 3대 전략 자원이라고 구분이 되고 있습니다. 그린 그로스는 어떻게 정의할 수 있는가? 물론 여러 가지 의미를 담고 있습니다만 UN 에스캅의 정의를 여기 예로 들었고 포커스 에리아를 몇 가지로 요약을 했습니다. 이것은 유네비 한 자료이고 특히 에너지 말씀을 드렸습니다만 에너지 에피시언시를 높이기 위해서 부문별 접근이 필요하다. 섹터럴 어프로치가 필요하다. 그래서 가장 많이 절약할 수 있는 부분을 본다 그러면 파워 제너레이션이다. 지금 전력, 대한민국도 전기 수요는 특히 여름에 급증을 할 것으로 예상이 되는데 공급이 상당히 불안정한 상태에 놓이고 있습니다. 파워, 빌딩, 인더스트리 그래서 이런 모든 부분에서 각각 최고의 효율성 높이는 전략, 즉 절약 이것이 실천에 옮겨지지 않으면 결국 언젠가는 심각한 위기에 도달할 것이다. 이것을 얘기하고 있습니다. 그러면 한국의 그린 그로스 스트래티지, 이니셔티브 이것은 어떻게 요약될 수 있는가? 물론 한국도 그린 에너지 인더스트리가 주요 분야입니다. 그리고 클라이밋 인더스트리를 지원을 하고 결국 궁극적인 목표라고 그러면 국민의 삶의 질을 높이고 복지를 향상시키는 것이 그린 그로스의 최고의 목표가 되어야 한다고 생각을 합니다. 그리고 글로벌 efforts, contributing to the global efforts, 국제 협력에 의해서 어려움을 겪고 있는 재정과 기술, 정책 역량에서 어려움을 겪고 있는 개발도상 국가들을 선진국들이 도와야 하는 이런 기본 정신이 없이는 지구촌의 그린 그로스는 실현이 가능하지 않다 이렇게 생각을 합니다. 그러면 제 마지막 말씀으로 한 5분 정도 남았는데 지역, Regional Energy Cooperation에 대해서 간단히 말씀드리겠습니다. 물론 지구촌에는 GDP per capita로 봤을 때 엄청난 그 격차를 갖고 있는 그러한 국가들이 모여있는 것이고 이 갭이라는 것이 어떻게 좁혀질 수 있겠는가 이것은 사실 누구도 장담을 할 수가 없습니다. 노스 이스트 아시아 동북아를 보면 이 3개국이 한중일 3개국이 인구나 GDP나 트레이드 볼륨에서 봤을 때 매우 중요한 지역이라는 것은 많이 지적이 되고 있습니다. 그러나 이 에너지 협력에 대해서는 이 동북아시아에서 특별한 움직임은 그러니까 최신 기술을 도입한 첨단 기술을 도입한 그러한 새로운 프로젝트는 아직 구상이 되고 있지 않습니다만 유럽과 아프리카를 잇고 또 북구 이런 지역별로 상당히 새로운 움직임이 나타나고 있다는 것에 주목할 필요가 있다고 봅니다. 에너지 에피션시를 높이는 것, 그리고 그러면서 결국 시장을 갖고 있고 기술을 갖고 있고 한 국가들 사이에 지역 협력이 결국은 필요한, 점점 더 절실하게 필요해지는 시대로 우리가 넘어가고 있다, 이렇게 봅니다. 스마트 그리드, 미국이 2008년에 법을 제정을 하는 등 구체적으로 현장에서 도입이 되기 시작을 했는데, 스마트 그리드가 한 단계 진화를 하면서 슈퍼 그리드로 바뀌고 있다 하는 점을 저는 여기서 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 스마트 그리드의 일반적인 개념, 이것은 상당히 미시적인 것일 수도 있고 매우 거시적인 그런 폭넓은 개념입니다만, 스마트 그리드 포 그린 에너지, 도쿄를 보시면 이해를 하실 수가 있습니다. 이것이 바로 유럽에서 무슨 일이 일어나고 있는가, 이 9개 국가들을 이으면서 슈퍼그리드 링킹, 리뉴어블 에너지하고, 리뉴어블 에너지의 풍력이니 태양광, 이런 것들이 그 자체로서는 간헐성, 분산성 때문에 그 주된 에너지원으로 자리를 잡지 못하고 있고, 기술력이나 경제성에 있어서 아직 개선할 여지가 많습니다. 화석연료를 대체하기에는 아직 역부족입니다. 이런 것들을 어떻게 효율화시킬 수 있겠는가 하면서 결국 슈퍼그리드로 연결을 해서 지역관, 여기서 보시는 것처럼 거미줄처럼 얽어놓는 그러한 계획들이 이루어지고 있습니다. 솔라, 서멀, 포토볼테이크, 윈드, 하이드로, 바이오매스, 지오터멀, 이것들을 다 엮고 있는 겁니다. 그래서 메이저 에너지 소스로서 진화시키고 있습니다. 유럽에서 일어나는 이 리뉴어블 에너지의 슈퍼그리드, 터널로 9개국을 연결을 하고 있습니다. 그리고 우리 동북아 지역에서는 어떻게 좀 리지널 에너지 코퍼레이션을 해보자 해서 컨퍼런스가 지금 여기서 예시한 것처럼 진행되고 있습니다만 아직 행동계획으로 옮겨지지는 못하고 있는 상황입니다. 일본이 후쿠시마 사태를 겪으면서 심각한 에너지 위기를 맞을 것으로 전망을 하고 있는 가운데 절약에 의해서 극복을 한다. 그러나 절약만으로 그 늘어나고 있는 에너지 수요, 전력 수요를 감당하기에는 한계가 있다고 보는 것입니다. 그래서 지역 간의 협력에 대해서 좀 더 새로운 방안, 첨단 기술을 활용하는 방안을 고려할 필요가 있다 하는 지적이 나오는 것이죠. 물론 기존에도 그 파이프라인을 연결하면서 내추럴 가스, 천연가스, 그리고 기름, 이런 것을 쭉 연결하는 일은 해왔습니다. 이제 단순히 그것이 아니라 전력 공급망을 소비하는 그 망을 다 연결하는 그러한 작업으로 넘어가고 있다는 것입니다. 한국과 러시아 사이의 에너지 코퍼레이션도 더 강화되어야 될 필요성이 제기되고 있고, 내추럴 가스, 천연가스도 역시 마찬가지입니다. 슈퍼그리드 프로젝트에 대해서 이미 제안이 나오고 있습니다. 그리고 아세안을 보십시오. 아세안에도 저기 그림에서 보시는 것처럼 파워그리드, APG, 아세안 인터커넥션 그리드 맵, 이런 것이 실제 구상이 되면서 프로젝트화 되고 있습니다. 지금 Tomorrow is a better tomorrow, 그래서 Regional Supergrid to Green Growth, 이런 청사진을 그려볼 수가 있는데, 이것은 물론 여러 가지 실무 작업을 필요로 합니다. Feasibility Study도 있어야 될 것이고, Standardization의 문제, Certification 문제, 가장 중요한 것은 Financing이죠. 그리고 이것이 오랜 시간이 걸리는 것이기 때문에 정책에서 리더십이 필요합니다. 그리고 서로 신뢰하고 협의할 수 있는 그 협상 능력, 이것이 결국 중요하고, 이런 과정에서 우리는 그린잡을 창출할 수 있을 것이고, 그래서 모든 분야가 협력을 해야 된다 하는 말씀으로 제가 제 제게 주어진 15분간 말씀을 드렸습니다. 감사합니다. 여기서 마쳐야 할 것 같습니다. 네, 그래서 사회, 경제, 환경 이것이 서로 상생과 조화를 이루는 제 정책 기둥이 튼튼해서 서로 조화를 이룸으로써 결국 지속가능한 발전, 그린 그로스를 통한 지속가능한 발전을 구현할 수 있다 하는 것이 우리들의 청사진입니다. 이제 실천이 필요한 때입니다. 감사합니다.
음악 시간을 아주 펑츄얼하게 너무 잘 맞춰주셔서 제가 사실은 배를 누르려다가 누르지 않았습니다. 워낙 잘 페이스 조절을 잘 하시는 것 같았어요. 내용이 상당히 많음에도 불구하고 15분이라는 짧은 시간 동안에 잘 정리해 주셔서 감사합니다. 글로벌 퍼스펙티브로부터 에이시안 리저널 이슈까지 아주 다양하게 정리를 해주셨는데요. 넥스트 스피커가 저희가 알렉산더 피셔 박사를 모셨습니다. 두 분의 이야기가 잘 연결이 될 것 같습니다. 알렉산더 피셔 박사는 여러분 잘 아시는 이제 글로벌 그린 그로스 인스티튜트 GGGI 아마 여러분 한성수 장관께서 지금 이사장으로 계시는 단체입니다. 이건 이제 세계적인 단체인데 이제 happen to be 한국에 첫 번째 오퍼레이션을 한 거고 아마 저 네덜란드로 next year is going to be moved. 옮겨간다는 rumor, I just got the rumor. 굉장히 중요한 인스티튜션입니다. 여기에서 현재 행정관리국장을 맡고 계신데 알렉산더 피셔 박사는 사실 이쪽에 컨설팅 쪽을 굉장히 많이 하셔서 사실 후진국이 갖고 있는 이 경제 발전과 그 다음에 environment friendly development라는 두 개의 딜레마를 실제로 어떻게 해소하느냐 하는 그런 실전적 이슈를 많이 다루었습니다. 프랑크푸르트에 있는 비아드리나 대학에서 경제학 박사도 하셨고 또 한 17년 정도 많은 private sector and public sector에서 이 administration 이런 일을 많이 하셨습니다. 그래서 굉장히 지금 말씀드린 김영자 장님께서는 실행력, 실천력 적인 측면에서 굉장히 많은 노하우를 가질 것 같습니다. 그래서 let me introduce Dr. Alexander Fisher for his 15-minute presentation. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It was a very kind introduction, and I'm honored to be here, Madam Minister, eminent guest. I'm delighted to discuss with you the Green Growth Path, and as Chairman already pointed out, I work with the GGGI. And just a few words to the rumor. Hans Su is arriving at 11 a.m. and I don't want to interfere there. But he already announced he's stepping down to the end of June and handing over the chairmanship to Lars Rasmussen, the Danish former Prime Minister. Whether GGGI going to move to Denmark or not is totally different. I guess it's going to stay here in Korea. I hope so. Okay, and to my presentation. I'm going to talk 5 minutes about the need for action and then 10 minutes about what we do and how the Korean initiative for the Global Green Growth Institute is put into practice. So as we are all aware of, and as Madam Minister already pointed out, the Earth is warming up. We are at the moment at the average 0.7 degrees increase of Celsius. Seoul is at 2.4, Jeju 2 point something, so Korea is very vulnerable to that. Even though GGGI is not working in Korea, we are working in Korea, but we're not working for Korea Green Growth. For Korea Green Growth, Korea has the Presidential Committee for Green Growth. We're working in developing countries. We are, of course, very concerned about the Korean situation as well. So Korea is very strongly affected by the global warming, much higher than average. What do we have to do? We all know this curve. We have to start action. As Madam Minister pointed out, the energy demand is still increasing, population is still increasing. Nevertheless, we have to turn around the pathway of energy production, the pathway of growth. That's why The Stern report in 2006 mentioned we have to change our way of moving forward. Nobody's questioning growth, but we have to change it. At that time, he called it low carbon development, and then in 2008, the Korean government, under the leadership of Lee Myung-bak, labeled it green growth. And since green growth is much more easy for us to understand than low carbon development, I think it was a good move from the Korean government to label it that way, because now the international community found a wording where we can frame what we want to do. We want growth. We're not questioning the growth in developing countries. A country like Cambodia and Ethiopia, Rwanda, they all have the right to growth, like all of us before. But we want to help them to make it green for our own sake. That's sort of the story behind that. The emission of but nevertheless, the emission of developing world are likely to rise strongly over the coming decade, possibly by around 4 to 5 billion tons CO2. And when this happens, it's going to sum up to 32, 33 billion tons CO2. Just go back one slide. So we at the moment, all over the world, that's close to 50, 48, 47. And if the developing world moves up for the 4 to 5 billion CO2 tons, we have a substantial increase. China alone is going to make 3 billion tons CO2 per year, adding up to the CO2 emissions. India is 1.5 billion tons. So, and the developing countries' plans indicate, the developing country plan indicate a fall of 2 to 5 billion tons, which will not fully compensate that. And as we already know, the compensation alone will not do it anyway. We have to be stronger than only compensate. We have to reduce it more. The greenhouse gas concentration in our atmosphere was in the 18th century at 285 ppm per cubic meter. Now we are at 445, and our expectation is that the 445, with a likelihood of 20% already, will cause an increase in temperature of 3 degrees, 50% 2 degrees. So there is already the very high likelihood and more or less certain that the temperature of the world is increasing from the average 0.7 to 2 degrees. And as Madam Minister already pointed out, Korea is very strongly affected by that. Physical and human geography would likely be transformed. The world as we know it is going to change. We already experienced this, but of course in the developed world we will be able to cope. This is a tricky part, and also Madam Minister pointed it out. It's a sort of vicious circle. Those who are deciding about the world, more or less like us, the developed world, we will be able to cope in the developing world. Those are those countries who are going to be affected and do not have the technology and do not have the air condition and the capacity to build the dams to hold off the natural disasters which we are all going to see. The last 3 million years, the globe has not seen a temperature higher than we have now of 3 degrees, so a temperature increase of 3 degrees. This was 3 million years ago that we had the temperature which we may face with the 450 ppm CO2 in our atmosphere. And if we go up, the 450 ppm in the atmosphere may cause us a 2 degrees, and if we go up to 550, we may face 3 degrees, 650, we may face 4 degrees, and 750, which would be the bow scenario to 2020, the business as usual scenario to 2020, would bring us a 5 degrees increase to 2020 for the Earth, and this would definitely be the end of the world as we know. So this is the course of action. This is already my 5 minutes for the action. What can be done? Before I come to the GGGI, what we do in practice, one slide for the theory, what we can do with greenhouse gases. First of all, the first bullet point is changing the pricing system in our society. UNSCAP just launched their roadmap for the low carbon green growth. pass for the Asian Pacific region. They also strongly stressed, let's change the pricing system. This is going to be also a very hard part for Korea, because the electricity price in Korea, as we know, is the lowest in the OECD countries. And we're not gonna like it, but if we want to change the CO2 emission in a country like Korea, for example, you have to increase the electricity price, even though you're gonna be very unpopular. Anyway, we're talking about we can do carbon taxes, so there's a strong discussion going on to change the pricing system in the society from labor. Now we all get taxed by labor, and our income get taxed, to shift it more to carbon tax, that the society taxes CO2 use, if you want to call it that way. Research and development, the developed world is doing this quite a lot, and of course also here in Korea there's a strong effort to technology increase, green technology, and in Germany, where I come from, of course, as you all know, there's also a long history of green technology. Imperfection in the market, so we all have to, the government has to step in to support renewable energies, because they are more expensive than the other energy sources. So there's an imperfection in the market, because the impact of the environment is not incorporated in the price. So we have to, and we can act there. It's already happening, but we have to step up. Networks, as we already heard, grids and public transport. Information is also one part what we as DGGI stress quite strongly, and it looks like the Mexican G20 is going to also jump on that move, because it doesn't cost much at the end of the day. But if we label our products in a green, and if we distinguish between green and brown, if we have a common standard, then at least we can raise awareness in the population. It does not cost much, but we're quite certain that a lot of the world population already would follow those moves. I think that were my 5 minutes. Definition you already heard from Madam Minister. Let me move. This is a Korean model. You had the 60 years of incredible development story, and now you're taking leadership again, moving from the brown path to the green path, where the international community is well aware of, and following your leadership in that regard. So what are we doing at GGGI? Because the seminar is about international cooperation, trends and cases. We are using ODA money for building green growth plans in developing and emerging countries. So that's also why we do not work in Korea, because we're using ODA money, which is for developing and emerging countries. We get approached by countries who are asking us for green growth plans, which are always based on an economic plan of a country. Let's say Ethiopia has an economic pathway, a vision to move to a middle-income country by 2020. We are not questioning that. The government of Ethiopia expects a 10% growth. We're not questioning growth. This is the big difference to the former discussion when everybody discussed climate change. We have to reduce CO2, moving, let's say Ethiopia again, moving to Ethiopia and tell them you have to reduce climate change in a country with $1,000 per capita. They're not talking about climate change, right? They're talking about growth. So we're not questioning their ambition for a growth path, and we look at it. If it's totally unrealistic, we may discuss, but we're not really questioning it, because it's the government's economic path, and they have to sell it to their constituencies, and they have to live with it. So we're not questioning this. We're coming in and discussing with them how can we change it from a brown growth path to a green growth path. So what are the measures which have to be taken on the energy shift, hydro, forestry, building, what has to be done to stick to your, Ethiopia for example has now 2 tons CO2 emission per capita, and how can we stay there? Like the US has 20, Germany has something around 10. So how can we stick to 2 or 2.5 CO2 tons emission per capita and still allow you, or still let you go to the middle income level? So this is the whole idea about the green growth plan. We're not questioning the growth, we're just moving to green. And then we identify the measures, detailed measures which have to be taken in hydro, energy production, coal and other things. And label them with money, so we come up with an amount which has to be invested in that country to move to the middle income country and shift to the green production. Let's say for the example in Ethiopia, it's something between 40 and 50 billion US dollars. And now, of course, the Ethiopian government would say, well, whatever you write there, we never can afford that. We don't have that money. And then it's the international community who has to step in. It's a pledge by the international community who says, we're going to support the developing countries, we're going to finance the shift from brown to green production of energy, etc. And then it's the international community who is in charge of this 40 billion through the Global Climate Fund, which has to set up from next year, and other vehicles, and of course also private investment. So the next step with such a green growth plan is going deeper into the investment cases and identify in a public-private partnership approach the investors who are willing to invest in these specific deals. You may say, well, whether Ethiopia moves to a middle-income country or not, and whether they move up from a 2 CO2 emission tons per capita to a 6 or 7 CO2 emission tons per capita, it all doesn't matter compared to China and India, right? And you're absolutely right. From Volumina, it doesn't matter. But the case of example is so strong. If 1, 2, 3, 4 countries are be able to shift on the developing path from the brown developing path to the green developing path, this narrative is so strong that we believe, and also the Korean government believed when they said in 2009, we're going to finance the Global Green Growth Institute, and other governments coming along now and getting on board for the Green Growth Institute and them supporting us. So they think this narrative is so strong for the international community, we have to do it. I have another couple of minutes. Good. Let me show you where we're active now. So we have a sort of criteria how we choose the countries. High-level political support, as mentioned, is very important. Willingness to view green growth as an element of core economic strategy. Clear domestic institutional partner identified. Things like this. We have certain criteria how we select a country. Of course, the donor country also plays an important role. Let's say Korea as a donor country wants us to move to work together with Cambodia, then we of course go there and have a look whether the Cambodian government is open to work with us. They are very open. We are doing a good cooperation there together with the Presidential Committee of Green Growth, because we start in Cambodia with the institutional building. I'm sure my colleague is going to explain more about that. So currently we are working in a couple of countries, and which are Ethiopia, Rwanda, Morocco, Jordan, UAE, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, China, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, Peru, Brazil, and the Amazon. It doesn't mean that we in all these countries already have fully fledged green growth plans. We just in the discussion with governments, or we already building the green growth plans. In the case like Ethiopia or UAE or with Cambodia, we are also quite far already in setting up all this institutional setup for then later on implementing the green growth plan. So we are in all the regions from our headquarters in Korea, where it's hopefully going to stay. And we have a diversified income levels. So we have the frontier markets in our portfolio like UAE, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and Vietnam. We have the big emerging economies, China, of course not on the federal level. This is a very tricky part, as you're all very well aware of, with the Chinese federal government. This is a long way. So we start in a province, Yechun province, and then hopefully we're going to make our way up. India, the same, Karnataka, we're in Karnataka in India, and working there in the province. And my time's up? Okay, just 2 minutes? No? Okay. 10 seconds. I wanted to show you the institutional setup where Dimion Bak announced it in Copenhagen, and then we set up the office, and now we are working together with the G20 and preparing the Rio Plus 20, and that's our portfolio of partners, and that's it. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. 아마 내일쯤 그 한전 분들이 우리 닥터 피셔 모셔올 것 같습니다. 전기요금 올려도 된다고 이야기하셔서 아마 maybe the Korean power people will love you so much. 그리고 아마 우리 그 그린 그로스에 대해서 참 이야기 많이 들었는데 아주 재밌는 용어를 쓰시네요. 그 브라운 그로스. 그러니까 아마 우리 그 과거에 그동안 불뚝산업에 의해서 우리가 성장해왔던 그 패스를 브라운 그로스라고 이렇게 명칭을 하시네요. Maybe in the next phase we may get the three different category: brown growth, gray growth, in between, and then maybe green growth. 네, 다음은 지금 그 맥락상 우리 양선희 교수님 하실 내용이 조금 더 그 전체 지금 하는 분위기하고 맞기 때문에 제가 그 제주 한라대학교에 계시는 양선희 교수님을 모시고 그 콩고에서 이 워터 프로젝트를 그 수질 관리 프로젝트를 어떻게 실질적으로 이 국제협력을 통해서 했는지 그런 이야기를 들어보는 것이 전체적으로 맥락상 맞기 때문에 먼저 하고 그 다음에 우리 국산수리 교수님의 이야기를 캄보디아의 그 에코 투리즘을 제일 마지막으로 이렇게 좀 바꿨습니다. 그래서 우리 제주 한라대학의 양선희 교수님 이야기 듣도록 하겠고요. 양선희 교수님은 지금 제주 한라대학의 너싱 디파트먼트 간호대학 교수님도 계시고 이쪽 분야의 그 인터내셔널 아너 소사이어티인 시그마 데타 타우의 회원으로 계십니다. 그럼 양순희 교수님 maybe 10 to 15 minutes.
Thank you for your kind introduction, President John. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen and colleagues. It's my great honor to here to present. Today, I would like to talk about environmental impact on health water project in developing countries. I will begin by introducing the environmental factors. It has been a widespread view that environmental factors affecting our health. Ian Johnson, World Bank President, also emphasized huge effectiveness of health by environmental factors. As you can see, this framework proposed by World Health Organization shows that 5 environmental factors influence health, human health. In my presentation, with the focus on freshwater decline, I will discuss relevant issues in developing countries. It is no exaggeration to say that water is essential for life. Preserving the quality of fresh water is important for the drinking water supply and food production. On July 28, 2010, the United Nations General Assembly acknowledged that clean drinking water and sanitation are essential to the realization of all human rights. However, 1.2 billion people all over the world still live without clean drinking water and 2.6 billion people without sanitary facility. Please take a look at this bar graph. The horizontal axis represents all over regions in the world, and blue bar represents the number of people living without clean drinking water, and red bar represents the number of people without sanitary facility. Among all our regions, Southeast Asia and East Asia have the severest shortage of clean drinking water and sanitary facility. Poor access to clean drinking water and adequate sanitation facility led to high child mortality. It is due to prevalent diarrhea and other waterborne diseases. There are diarrhea-related deaths per year of child under 5 years, 1.5 million. However, if sanitation and hygiene improved, ratio of diarrhea-related deaths will be reduced to third. However, developing countries have no ability to improve their sanitation and hygiene conditions by themselves. Therefore, international development cooperation is necessary in the health dimension. World Health Organization recognizes health is one of the fundamental rights for every human being, and also health is moral obligation of human intervention. On September 68, 2000, United Nations held Millennium Summit. It made the Millennium Development Goals, which is called MDGs, improving social and economic conditions in the world's poorest countries. The Millennium Development Goals are 8 in total. Among them, the seventh goal is ensure environmental sustainability, as you can see. It shows that environmental issue is important to be discussed in such a big summit. Ban Ki-moon, UN Secretary General, said, "We must not fail the billions who look to the international community to fulfill the promise of Millennium Declaration for a better world. Let us keep the promise." United Nations agencies and organizations are involved in water projects in developing countries. However, international development cooperation is not easy to succeed. Therefore, United Nations has been trying to spread critical success factor of MDG good practice to agencies to conduct projects. Here is an MDG good practice which is related to Democratic Republic of Congo's water, sanitation, and hygiene program. Congo is the third largest country in Africa. Clean water available rate is less than 45% in countrywide and less than 29% in rural area. As a result of this, the prevalence of diarrhea among children under 5 years of age is 16.4%. Let me briefly talk about water, sanitation, and hygiene program of Congo. The ultimate goal of this program is to enhance child survival and development. To do so, it is required to change behavior, enable environment, and provide water and sanitation service. Let's look at the result of the program. More than 250,000 people have gained access to safe water and improved sanitation and have been trained in the key behavior methods in the program. More than 1,000 health workers and teachers have received technical training in the implementation of the program. What are key elements of success? The program established a minimum standard for water, sanitation, and hygiene that a village or a school must reach before it can be declared health by the government. This program is demand-driven. Members of communities and students of school prioritize their needs and choose projects. The program is well accepted by political gatekeepers. Because of these key elements, there was big success in Congo. What issues needed to be paid attention at this point for the future? In near future, water shortage will be more severe than before. Please look at this map. It shows the global water scarcity in 2025. All over the world, except green area, will come to encounter serious water issue. By 2025, 1.8 billion people will have lived in countries or regions with absolute water scarcity, and 2/3 of the world's population will be living under water stress condition. Let me give you a recap of what we have discussed so far. Waterborne disease can be prevented by ensuring access to safe drinking water, sanitation, and good hygiene. The availability of water resource has a huge impact on public health. However, water shortages are expected to occur in the near future. Therefore, we should provide support to developing countries in terms of improving water quality. Also, we should consider developing wastewater utility, infrastructure, and human development for managing water resources. I would like to conclude this presentation by introducing a Cambodia project initiated by Jeju Halla University and Global Green Growth Institute. The project will focus on health hygiene for environment-friendly development. We needed to consider developing infrastructure and human development to solve environmental health issues in Cambodia. The two identify the key to project success are ensuring an adequate supply of material resources and securing related expert for education. I would like to end by hoping that today's gathering can provide a great opportunity to make a better Asia and better world. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your succinct yet clear presentation in English. And GGGI와 또 같이 또 협력하는 사례들도 보이시고 또 앞에 발제자분들이 주로 이제 에너지라든지 CO2, 파워 이런 이슈를 했는데 또 이번에 그 워터에 대해서 이렇게 이야기를 해주심으로써 우리가 이 환경의 위협이 다방면에서 오고 있다는 것을 아주 느끼게 해주셨습니다. Okay, then we have the final presentation by Dr. 부찬 Sri. 부찬 Sri 씨는 사실은 이제 캄보디아 관광부의 그 기획개발과 사무관으로 계시는데요. 이분이 또 그 캄보디아에 있는 그 휴먼 리소스 유니버시티의 또 학장으로도 이렇게 일을 하고 계세요. 불가리아에서 그 인터내셔널 관광 쪽으로 석사도 하시고 현재 또 그 캄보디아 내셔널 매니지먼트 유니버시티에서 박사 과정을 이렇게 하고 계십니다. 재미있는 사실은 오늘 네 분들이 전부 다 이 학계에 한 발을 다 갖고 계세요. 학계에서 교수를 하셨거나 또 공부를 하셨거나 지금 뭐 강의를 하시거나 하는 그런 아주 공통적인 그 아카데믹 백그라운드를 강하게 다 가지고 있는 공통점이 있습니다. 지금 아마 이제 부찬 Sri 사무관은 현재 그 제주 한라대학과도 긴밀하게 협력을 하고 계신 것 같고 해서 우리 한국에 대해서도 굉장히 많은 관심을 갖고 계신 걸로 알고 있습니다. 오늘은 아마 그 에코 투리즘의 국제 협력에 대한 그 사례를 캄보디아 케이스를 통해서 이야기하는 걸로 제가 알고 있습니다. Okay, Mr. Sri, you have about 15 minutes to go. I think you have prepared so many, materials for the presentation, but please keep the time, 15 minutes, so that we can have 10 minutes for Q&A with the floor. Okay? So 15 minutes.
Thank you, Professor Chun, that gave me opportunity, and also thank for my obstruction. And first of all, please allow me to express my thanks for having this opportunity to participate in this conference. And actually, this is my great honor and appreciate to be here as invited by President Sun Hun Kim, the Jeju Hala University. And in front of you, I would like to share a few things regarding to the ecotourism in Cambodia. And here is my content. I will consider 6 points, as you can see. And let me brief about the Cambodia situation. As you are aware, Cambodia lies the heart of Asia, covered 181,000 kilometers square, and population is 14 million. The capital is Phnom Penh, currently nearly 2 million people living. And we have a border with Thailand and Laos at the north, and with the Vietnam at the south and east, and the southwest with Thailand Gap. Here is you may aware what is the tourism facility in our country, and which is supported for the tourism, especially ecotourism in development of each area. So you can see the profile, what the hotel room and travel agency, airline, connectivity around the world, and restaurant, and massage and souvenir shop. Kind of this tourism facility, I just highlight which they have a high standard for providing the service to our tourists. And with this, for the tourism development in terms of ecotourism in country, last year we have got the real figure. Here you can see 2011 we got for international tourists arrival nearly 3 million. And for the outbound tourists, for Cambodian people, they have traveled to Korea, to everywhere, is more than 1 million. And for the domestic tourists, we got nearly 7 million. Actually, we calculate for the international tourist revenue, we got 1.8 billion US dollar. There are two kinds of the tourists to be access our country. One by air, which figure, and another one is by land and water way. So why ecotourism in Cambodia? Actually, I would like to address 3 points in terms of the development ecotourism in Cambodia. One is we set up for the policy to diversify our product. Mostly our tourists, they know that Cambodia has only cultural and historical attraction, but it's not real. We have a lot of the ecotourism potential. And secondly, we develop ecotourism in Cambodia. This is our the policy of green growth development. That Cambodia is one of the number of the green growth committee that we have set up, and we work very closely with the GGI. And thirdly, why ecotourism in Cambodia? That soon after we have the good partnership with the Jeju Hala University that has to support our project. So here is the regional ecotourism development as our policy. We have it's okay. Yeah. So this the first region that we call Northeast Province, that a rich on natural attraction, and one unique in the world that company have is the first dolphin in the Mekong. There is many people, many countries they have the dolphin, but we have the sea. But in Cambodia we have the one kind of dolphin in the Mekong dolphin. That very attraction, and we have a lot of waterfall, land, rainforest, etc. It's a Northeast Province. It's as a potential. Secondly, for the ecotourism in Cambodia, we focus the coastal zone that is running about 450 kilometers from the coastal zone close to Vietnam and Thai border, this area. And thirdly, as you know, is the Siem Reap Angkor Wat Temple. There are a lot of Korean tourists currently, stand number 2 after Vietnam. So surrounding of the Angkor Wat Temple, there are a lot of ecotourism development potential, like the Great Lake. I will show you after the next slide. So fourthly, the ecotourism in our country is around Phnom Penh and the downstream of the Mekong, connected to the Mekong Delta to the Vietnam border. So this is the profile of the ecotourism. Actually, ecotourism is a very play important in terms of how to contribute to the local people. And one kind of that early minutes is one kind of our policy to support the green growth to reduce the climate change. So here is we have about 23 protection areas with national park, wildlife sanctuary, and protection landscape, and also multi-area is the total area about 47,000 kilometers. And for the currently we have about 78 community-based ecotourism with classified in list in Cambodia, and we have more than 11 ecotourism community model. And actually, ecotourism in Cambodia we have developed since 2007, and there are some of the ecotourism community has subsidized by the fund from the Ministry of Tourism and Asian Development Bank, and we also subsidized by the UNWTO, World Tourism Organization, and Netherlands Development Agency also they have. And currently we have a few very perfect and good example ecotourism community at the coastal zone, which implemented and subsidized by Wildlife Alliance from United States. There are a lot of people enjoy. Thirdly, I would like to present to you about the national ecotourism policy. That the policy is very strongly support for the green growth because we have clear vision and mission to support, and this policy can convey our partners to have confidence and to join together. So we have set up policy, our policy. So far we have set meant as the key point. One, we have the planning, zoning and modeling. We define the prior area via ecotourism development, and we set up the model for the ecotourism, and then we have soft and hard infrastructure. We have human resource development, and we have the ecotourism facility and infrastructure, and then we have the quality assurance that we have currently we have the competitive monument, and we have the clean city and clean resort and good service, and we have the model green growth to encourage the local people how to implement it. And we also focus for the marketing and promotion with Cambodia Green Exploration campaign, and we have e-marketing, and we have national database on the ecotourism. We also focus for business and investment, and with the business investment we are highlight two kind in terms of ecotourism development in our country. One, we focus the small scale model, which we encourage local people how to participate in the project, because we can encourage them how to use resources and how to get benefit from the resources. And the large scale model, we try to pursue the investor from local and international to join and to invest in terms of the priority that we have defined. And here is for we set up for the institutional mechanism. There are 5 also mechanisms to be involved as ecotourism development in our country. One we so-called the government authority or government land agency. That is involved Ministry of Tourism leading, and then Ministry of Environment, and Ministry of Agriculture and Fishery and Forestry, and then Ministry of Rural Development. And secondly, we have the local community representative that each of the local community that can apply and to join with us. Thirdly, we have the NGO, non-government organization, that we provide expert center. And fourth, we have the tourism private sector that involve travel agency, airline, etc. And lastly, we have the financial institution. This is our mechanism in terms of ecotourism development. And it's for the real practice what we can try to promote the ecotourism, and we encourage the local people how to get benefit from the tourist activity in their village or their area. So it's one kind of ecotourism that I put here, ecotourism experience in Cambodia. So many foreigner, many investor, they try to promote the kind of this house, it's a home we call homestay, and at the destination they can provide like the horse or ostrich or buffalo that they can enjoy many activities at the village, at planting forest, or can visit at the bird watching or some activity very similar. And it's different kind of the ecotourism activity at the Great Lake. As you know, the Great Lake of the lake is a big lake in Cambodia, and also one of the big guest of the lake in Southeast Asia. That a lot of tourist biodiversity include bird life sanctuary, and a lot of tourists they go there. This project is under considering by UNESCO, working with the Queensland University in terms for how to initiative and develop the ecotourism community to improve livelihood of the local people. So it's activity. I run it quickly. This is the buffalo card that the local people they try to get benefit from the tourists, and this is kind of the adventure to take ecotourism in the destination. You can see the children at countryside, they welcome the tourists. So this is also one kind that the tourists they had to visit at the plotting and fishing village at the Great Lake Tonle. So before lastly conclusion, I think that the ecotourism in Cambodia we have obstacle and challenges. We are limited our capacity and understanding of community-based ecotourism, and also we face many like the poor infrastructure, and we difficulty to access and food, maybe the feeling of the tourists, and maybe it's not safety, hygiene, and one kind that the population grow fast and immigration that a lot of things that we can see that the obstacle and challenge. And my conclusion regarding for the ecotourism in Cambodia should be based on participatory approach, which we should be work very closely in 4P that put here. One is public that I mentioned earlier. Public it means that all government agencies like the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Culture, Fine Art that is involved that published. And the private sector, we can also all kinds of the private sector, tourism industry, hotel, restaurant, and airline company, etc. And the people, the local people, all of the level of the local people, they can involve, they can access to the project. And partnership, for the international, like the NGO, non-government organization, and maybe to spread out. And lastly, I think that the development of ecotourism to be success should be focused on 5A. What that 1A focus to attitude that here I would like to express to the behavior of the local people, how to take welcome for the tourists, how to express the hospitality for the tourists. And second A, that for the access, how we have a lot of resources, but we don't have infrastructure, we don't have the road connected from one to another. That is very important. And third, we should be focused to accommodation. We have the accommodation, but they are still lower standard. So the tourists they also consider. And for the attraction and for the advertising, Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you will enjoy with my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sari, for your very insightful presentation. 아마 그 캄보디아 케이스를 보시면서 굉장히 재밌는 그런 퍼스펙티브들이 몇 가지 있었던 것 같습니다. 아마 여기 그 CBET라는 개념이 나오는데 그게 이제 Community Based Eco Tourism, 그러니까 부락부락별로 단락단락별로 이렇게 에코 투리즘을 개발하는 그런 개념, 그리고 많은 그 기관들이 그 파티시페이션을 해서 이 개발을 하는 그런 개념들이 굉장히 캄보디아 에코 투리즘의 특이한 개념이었던 것 같고요. 경영 조직이든 아니면 국가든 그 성공하기 위해서는 자기가 가지고 있는 단점을 장점화한다는 것이 굉장히 중요한 이 경영학적인 요소의 과제입니다. 근데 캄보디아 케이스 보니까 그들이 가지고 있는 그런 단점, 약점, 그러니까 개발이 덜 돼 있다는 그런 단점이나 약점을 오히려 그 에코투리즘이라는 장점으로 이렇게 승화시켜서 발전을 도모하는 이런 모습을 보면서 상당히 저희 경영학에서 배우는 거하고 실제 캄보디아가 실행하는 게 굉장히 비슷한 거라서 이제 반가웠습니다. 오케이. 오늘 네 분이 정말 시간을 너무 기가 막히게 다 이렇게 프레젠테이션 타임을 맞춰주셔서 제가 이 배를 칠 시간이 없었습니다. 그러니까 배를 칠 필요가 없을 정도로 So I really appreciate all the presentation presenters for being punctual on your presentation today. 저희가 이제 한 8분 정도 시간이 있는데요. 이 플로우에서 자유롭게 질문을 좀 해주시는데 질문을 하실 때는 본인 소개를 간단하게 하시고 그리고 그쪽 네 분의 발표자를 꼭 지명을 해주세요. 누구한테 질문을 하겠다. 그리고 질문은 될 수 있으면 간결하게 좀 짧게 질문을 해주시면 여러분이 다 할 수 있는 기회가 있을 것 같습니다. 그러면 플로어로부터 질문을 받도록 하겠습니다. 질문 계신 분은 손을 들어주시면 네, thank you.
My name is Hyung-Sik Kim from Korea University of International Studies. I'd like to direct my question to Mr. Fisher. Dr. Fisher, I like your presentation very much. You stated that you are not questioning growth, but advocating for green development. Okay, at what financial and technological cost? Would it be financially cheaper to achieve green development or technologically easier than struggling with a brown growth? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. We're doing the shift from the brown growth to the green growth. So let me make clear that I understand your question. Of course, we have to use a green technology in that regard. So that is sort of the main part. And when I stress the example with Ethiopia, with a $40 billion investment needed to make the shift from brown to green, it's all green technology which have to be implemented in that developing country. And now it comes that the developing country, of course, cannot afford it. Since the brown growth is much cheaper, and the international community through the global climate funds, Korean, German, ODA, developing banks, guarantees for private investments, etc., are facilitating or paving the way for the green tech revolution, if you want to call it that way. Lord Stern at the London School of Economics, he called it the third industrial revolution. This was Jeffrey Rifkin, and Stern called it new industrial revolution. So both of them are stressing strongly that it's all about green tech implementation. But I hope I answered your question. Was it? Okay.
Technological, so that I guess out of 10, what grade would you give in terms of movement towards the green movement out of 10? 30 or what? 3 or 4? Overall, how fast are we moving towards green development?
I see you want to have an assessment whether the world is moving. Oh, I see. So, as I said, well, we may think countries, small countries like Ethiopia, Cambodia, and Rwanda, they don't really matter compared with China and India. So and US, of course. First of all, we all know that. But we need a narrative. We don't have it yet. So we still don't have a fully developing country green path. But we have the first plans, and now we are building the investment plans. And let's see, during this year and the beginning of next year, whether we find the investors. And if we can tell this story, then I guess we're going to accelerate.
Thank you.
So please introduce yourself first and then ask questions. Microphone, please. Maybe we need 2 microphones on both sides.
Thank you, Mr. Jun. I'm Ellie from Ministry of Transportation, Republic of Indonesia. Firstly, my question for Suri from Cambodia. I saw your beautiful Cambodia. Unfortunately, I haven't been there. It seems to be that it is ecotourism, but it seems to be that you have the access, one of your identifications. Yeah, but regarding the transportation itself, yeah, it seems that from your presentations you don't involve the transportation ministries there. Because actually I was thinking that transportation is really a key issue. Yeah, it is really like CO2, the emissions will be a very big issue. So I think transportation should be involved in your ecotourism projects. Secondly, for Fisher, thank you so much, and I'm very happy to see you here. Actually, I'm working for I'm the director of urban transport system development, but yesterday when I was here, I was promoted to be the president and the vice president for the research and development. I know that your GGI, you have one of your projects in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, in Kalimantan. But could you tell me, do you have any transportation projects so far? Because I was thinking that our research and development, although the research development institution itself, it is still not developed. So I would like to develop our R&D. Is there any possibility for probably working together with other developed countries or developing or with co-finance with TDDI or other institutions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, that you're interesting about transportation regarding in terms of ecotourism in our country. Our policy we have conducted, which implemented by the Ministry of Public Works and Transport and cooperation with the Ministry of Environment. As you see with your eyes, we cannot. We confess that Cambodia today we still use we so-called second-hand bus or car that one kind that can impact for the pollution in our country. But as you see, our country is still poor, so our government they are encouraged because we don't have our people. We don't have the money to buy a new car, so that we try to allow. However, Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Public Works and Transport, they have encouraged for the people who are using the series of car up 1,000 kilometer. Oh, sorry, 1,097 up. So they had to promote. So they had to. If you have the series car below that, you can change your I don't know what the system, but the Ministry of the Environment they pay for. This is one policy. But another thing regarding to the eco tourism area, we don't see any kind of transportation that may affect it to the area yet, because every of the ecotourism side we try to promote the use traditional transportation. For example, in Key Park, where is supported by the Wildlife Alliance, we not allow the bus or big car entry the area. So we try to use the traditional transport like the ox cart or house cart or buffalo cart or the kind of the motorcycle. So this is one thing.
Okay,
Thank you.
It's very brief, right? Of course, as pointed out by Madam Minister, there are these 6 fields, and transport is one of them where we work, and this is no doubt it doesn't work without it. But to the business model of GGGI, what we do, I mean, the infrastructure itself may be financed by ADB, you know better than me, so it's by the multi-relevant banks. And GGGI goes in and looks at the plan, and we identify the deals or the investment have to be made to make it green. And then we are willing to look together with you for those investors. We don't have the ODA money. We have 30 million US dollars per year. This wouldn't be enough to invest to finance anything like that. But our idea is, and the whole idea of GGGI, that we can give you the quality of stamp, if you want to call it that way, that this is a green investment. And then an organization like ADB, World Bank, or in the future the Global Climate Fund, if they manage to attract the money, see, okay, this is already a GGGI stamp on it, and they feel much more comfortable to go for it. Let's see.
Thank you so much. 시간이 벌써 다 됐네요. 그래서 더 질문이 아마 계시겠지만, maybe we can take advantage of the coffee break if you have further questions. 그래서 오늘 이걸로 마치기로 하고요. 오늘 그 네 분의 프레젠트들 대단히 감사드리고 또 플로어에서 질문해 주신 여러분 감사합니다. 그럼 이걸로 오늘 세션을 마치는 걸로 하겠습니다.